Anyway, hi everybody. This is my first time co-hosting with Minu, and I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna give you a very quick overall thing. Minu it has been my spiritual guide, mentor over 5 years, and truthfully, if it wasn't for Minu, I don't think I would be here. We'll leave it at that. Most of you who do know me know that that's to be true. So I'm really excited to be part of this beautiful, beautiful. I have to let somebody in, by the way.
Don't worry, Gail. I'll let them in while you're talking.
Okay. So I'm just really excited to be here. I'm really excited to be co-hosting with Minu, and I'm so happy to see so many beautiful people on here with me. So this is all about the age of brilliance, and tonight's tonight's age of brilliance is all about the portal of cosmic support. This is part two, and for those of you who were here last week, this is the seventh element, which opens up the energy resources that we already have, that we're already blessed with. It's not outside of us, it's right here, as far as I'm concerned. So you are not meant to do this alone. Right now, a vast unseen network is ready to lift you, guide you, and carry you into your highest destiny. I mean, I'm ready. I'm sure everybody that's on here is ready too. In this transmission, unlock the 12 elements of cosmic support and learn exactly how to call them in and make them move for you. If you don't believe in manifestation, you should, because Manu is all about that, and she teaches you how to manifest. As far as I'm concerned, that's been my experience with Manu. In this transmission, unlock the 12 elements of cosmic support and learn exactly how to call them in and make them move for you. Never feel alone again. Be fully resourced. Let the universe co-create with you. And if you've been following Manu, which I know most of you have, it's all about co-creation and collaboration. So here we are. And now I'm going to hand it over to the beautiful Minu.
Thank you, Gail. And if you have any particular questions, you can interrupt. And if anybody else has questions, put it in the chat. Gail will be tracking that, and I will answer those questions as we go along. So let's begin. So just a quick recap of the elements that we have already worked with. We began with the first one being alliance with the unseen, where you understand the unseen that walks with you, which are your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your unseen allies that are always there ready to assist. We also talked about the second one, which is the element of ancestral alignment, the roots that you stand on that can actually lift you higher. So your lineage carries the wisdom and blessings for your journey. And if you allow yourself to be aligned to that, it really accelerates your progress. Then we talked about the third one, which was nature's partnership. And that is and getting a deeper understanding of the fact that the earth already knows how to sustain you. Nature is a living source of healing and guidance. Then we talked about the fourth one, which was the soul-aligned community, the right people that somehow come together are a form of a divinely blessed infrastructure that is our channel for cosmic support. And relationships are this channel with our soul family, if you like. Then the fifth one was about divine timing. The right moment is its own multiplier. If divine timing is not there, it can sometimes take much, much longer. So the universe has the perfect timing for every move. The sixth one was the resource flow. There's always enough when you align with the source of enough. It's only when we are aligned with the source or with the story of lack, we don't have enough. It's just a matter of us aligning with the source of enoughness. Enoughness really is okayness. And now we are about to begin with the seventh element. So the seventh element is inner guidance. Inner guidance is talking about that compass that we already have within us. Now, what does that mean? We carry our own inner navigation system. So those of you who've done work with me, and who've done like deeper work, journey to miracles or other immersions, I often get you to connect with the yucky yummy test, you know? So our body is a perfect communicator of that inner navigation system that we have. Our body communicates that you're on the right path or you're not. So it's a matter of really remaining in tune with that compass that you already carry. I've been very busy completing my next book, which will be released, I think, on the 2nd of September. I will let all of you know soon. It's called Unstoppable. And it's really about, it's for young adults. It's about them becoming unstoppable. And so I always have a collection of early readers, and some of you have been early readers for my previous books. For this one, what I wanted was a collection of early readers who are young adults. So I reached out to many of the students who've done my programs and asked each one to bring one or two of their friends to be in that circle, because I really wanted to also get people who don't know me at all, who've not seen me in action at all, to be reading this book, because it's written in a very, very different style. Without huge explanations, but really keeping the pace and momentum going. So I got these collection of young readers, and I gave them 7 days. Normally I give 15 days, and I allow for 20. Um, a lot of them came back to me with their feedback in 7 days. And it was so interesting that I gave a Google form. Sure enough, they filled the Google forms. And many of them have shared privately stories of what was going on in their life, and what they used from Unstoppable and how it turned around. Um, and, including um, transforming relationships with their parents, some of them. And there was one particular kid, two of his friends, he's 15, two of his friends had committed suicide. So he was very deeply depressed in what he shared. Um, and there were certain sections of Unstoppable that somehow broke that pattern for him. And he stepped into really finding his purpose. And he's going on to write a very powerful book, which he's calling as The Gift of Pain, Gift from Pain. Um, and he also offered to write the foreword to the book. And I said, yes, you're very welcome to do that. And he's written such an amazing foreword. Now, at this point in time, I'm already past, I've got the developmental edits already done. So I'm already past the deadline. And the stories, so I had 22 new stories of these students actually implementing this stuff. So I used my inner guidance, my compass within, on where am I to put these stories. To me, this was like an even bigger thing, where in 7 to 10 days, these students have, addressed some problems that they were addressing. So my compass within, my mind said, no, everything's already locked. I could just add a few. There were a couple of people that I have been waiting on their feedback because I really value it. Other than that, I wasn't planning to do any other change to it. I connected to my inner compass and really asked, where am I to add these? How am I to honor what these students have done? And I got exactly where to add them and that I should add them. So my body was in a complete state of yumminess with the answer I got. And when this kid said, "May I write the foreword?" I said yes. But in my mind, my logical mind goes, a 15-year-old has chosen to write a foreword. He's never ever written a foreword. He was depressed until 7 days ago, like deeply depressed. And I have to honor this kid. So then it was like, okay, if I didn't have to, if I didn't need to, would I choose to do this? Yes, I would choose to do this. Then I just trust. My compass within said, trust it, he will deliver on time. And sure enough, he delivered last night. And then I tidied it up, sent it back. He came back with a few suggestions. Like literally, it was all done, you know. So I begin the book actually with his foreword. But it was amazing just trusting the this inner um, this compass within. We already have it. I do feel um, the book flows even better than it did before by having these little stories as short, succinct captions of what people have done with the book. And then I go into the detail explaining what the concept is, and then there is a story following that. I also feel that if I hadn't used this compass within, I might have taken many days to figure out what to do and how to have it flow, you know? Now, because I followed it and I remained connected to my inner navigation system, and I did ask, which is what I would say to you, if you wish to invoke this particular element, ask yourself daily, what is my right next step? You've heard me say that quite a lot. What is your logical next step? For me, it was like, okay, what is my next step that I'm to take in this? And I just followed it exactly as I was guided. Life really becomes so much easier when you know that you have this inner guidance. We've always known this. And I'm talking about this as one of the elements of cosmic support. So cosmic support by itself is a portal in this age of brilliance. And this is one of the elements which really unlocks that key to these infinite resources that cosmic support provides us. And that's why each of these elements become like they support you in that time collapse that I keep talking about. So today is our last day here in Berlin. We leave tomorrow. So we had, a few friends to meet and stuff. And we also had a family dinner evening. We did that and met these friends. And we got home at about 11 o'clock. And then at 2:30 is our session today. And my assistant, Anne, had, put in place exactly what I'd asked her to. So I always read my book. I read my book 3 times, actually, when I write them. And just before it goes to the copy editor, so you have 3 edits, right? You have a developmental edit, a copy edit, and then you have the proofreading. So now it's going to the copy edit. I always read it because after that, it's out of my hands. It's in the publishing process from this point on. So I had to read the book and make any final changes and stuff. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to energize myself and not sleep at all and do it. So I was so grateful that we were doing the Age of Brilliance session because it meant that I was able to complete the whole book. Again, it was this compass within that I used. So I had this unequivocal flow of yumminess. I knew I wasn't going to feel tired or sleepy or anything. It was just going to flow. And my next step was to, use this inner guidance, this compass, and take that next step next. Use it for yourself. So what it means is to know that you carry your inner navigation system. Just simply asking yourself, what is my logical next step? You invoke it. And how do you activate it? By taking that step before doubt talks you out of it. And the sort of signs you will see are clarity. You'll have absolute clarity, no hesitation. And even if you have a logical mind hesitation, it will be reduced dramatically. You'll be making much faster decisions. If you skip it, you could easily get lost in overthinking. And when you're in overthinking, you're disconnected from your body more and more and more, and you don't even notice or miss opportunities that were relevant for you. Just give me a moment. I need to get my computer charged. It's very rapidly run down the battery. So just give me a moment while I do that.
So if anyone has any questions, you can put it in the chat. It's so nice to see all of you.
And you too, Gail.
Thank you.
Shall I continue to the next one? Okay.
Yes, Manu, go ahead.
Okay. This is an interesting one. This is the eighth element. And the eighth element is inspired action. What I'm receiving about this inspired action is that the universe actually loves a moving target. Because look, we are moving, the earth is revolving around the sun. And I read somewhere it's revolving around the sun at 18,000 miles an hour, and it is rotating around itself at about 1,000 kilometers an hour. So we are in very rapid movement. So what it means is that cosmic support meets you in motion. Now, this is something I've talked about in the context of the age of brilliance many times, which is that it is about moving forward. Just literally take that next step next. It is about taking those next step next. It is about becoming consciously aware of which of that next step is a baby step, really marking and enjoying that milestone that just occurred. Knowing that from this point on, you're going to continue, moving forward, and you will not go back. So cosmic support meets you in motion. So this cosmos that is giving us the vibrational, codes that are perfect for what we are intending to accomplish, it delivers that to us in motion. If you're just stationary and not moving, and you're digging your heels in, the timing of certain things that is called for to occur through you would have already passed and you would be left behind. So the cosmic support doesn't meet you. How do you invoke it? All you have to do to invoke it is really ask for the energy to take that one step forward today, regardless of whatever you may be feeling or experiencing, in service of what you are here to cause and make happen. As a part of the divine plan, ask for the energy. I ask for the energy to recognize and take that one small step forward today. And this asking will invoke it. How do you activate it? When you get that intuitive hit about what that is, what that step is, do it before over planning. Otherwise, it'll just get buried in over planning or lost. Now, when you do this, this is the magic of when you take this inspired action. Rapid momentum, synchronicities really get multiplied. And this rapid momentum and synchronicities that are being multiplied become regenerative. If you skip it, stagnation occurs. And you remain waiting for the perfect conditions. I have an immersion coming up that I'm doing in September in Rome. And it's about romance, refresh, restore, resurrect. So as a part of that, the people that are coming in, everybody goes through the autopilot discovery, the money mindset discovery, and the source mastery discovery. And I'm doing this autopilot discovery. And one of the things that came up with somebody's autopilot was she gets so charged about stuff that requires to happen, that requires to be solved, or world problems that require to be addressed, and that she gets really mobilized, and somehow synchronicities occur, and she meets people who are in that space doing something positive to solve it. And she gets like, oh my God, this is magical, this is miraculous. And she sits with them and they plan, and then they, create what they're going to do. And then the moment the person disappears, she also disappears. And action doesn't happen. And she was like, she can't believe it, that she was so animated about it. And that, like, literally the universe gives her on her lap the perfect person who she could partner with to take it forward. And then she just doesn't take the step forward because she feels the condition, I'm not yet there, I might be distracting from what I'm doing right now. But really, all she really recognized that she was allowing herself to get into a space of stagnation, waiting for the perfect conditions. So that's your sign that you have not taken inspired action. If you're experiencing that stagnation, waiting for perfect conditions, then this inspired action opportunities are being missed. Now, this is where, because this is all about the universe working with you, one of the very quick ways of reestablishing your connection with the universe is a very simple exercise, which is, I think Abraham Hicks talks about it in the form of placemat exercise, placing the order with the universe. And I used to do these practices every single day. I don't have to do them every single day, but I do them from time to time. So what you do there is you literally create two columns. On the left-hand side, you write, I will do. And on the right-hand side, you will write, the universe will do. So I will do is ways of being. That is all you're doing. You're focusing on ways of being and allowing the rest of the doing to flow. So for me, it is more like, I will feel good. I will feel alive. I will experience joy. And then the universe is the one that has all the list of stuff to do that requires to be accomplished. Including, the universe will give me an infinite number of reasons and opportunities to feel good, experience joy, and feel alive. And you can, that's a very quick way to reestablish your connection with the universe. You may need to do this every day for 7 days, 10 days, 28 days to make it a habit. If you are very disconnected from the universe, and you start taking your inspired actions, because you would have reestablished that connection to the universe. And then you just keep focusing on, okay, so what is my next step? And what is my next step now? And what is my next step now? And take those steps. Don't just accumulate a collection of next steps. We already have plans that we've created, all of us, you know. So we don't need to layer and layer and layer those plans. Now it's a matter of moving forward and getting that momentum going with inspired action, with all the cosmic support that will keep meeting you in motion. And you will know that you're off the path if you experience stagnation, or you feel like, oh no, no, not yet, not yet. The perfect condition isn't there yet. So the ninth one, oh, just want to check. Gail, is there anything that is showing up for you that you want to share at this point?
Yes. You know me, Manu. I love this. I think it's amazing, and I definitely resonate with it. And I'm sure that most people on here do too. Um, so, you know, I'm thinking about the gut instinct. You talk about the compass. Is it the heart? Is it the gut? Because we always talk about the mind, brain, and gut. So is this the gut instinct? Is it the heart instinct? I do get like these moments of the light bulb moments when you talk about inspiration, and recently I actually had one, and I was like, okay, this is the time to do it, and I'm putting it into action just like I did when I produced the showcase with my students. It was just aha, this is what I should do. And I did it, and it was fantastic. So I have another one of those moments. Having said that, I would like to ask you, you talk about the compass, and then you talk about no overthinking, obviously. And then when the next one was very similar to the compass. So is it the gut? Is it the heart? Is it the brain? Is it
Okay, so the instinct or intuition,
instinct?
yeah, it always comes from the gut.
That's what I thought.
Heart does not produce any instinct. Heart is literally it is about presence, and it gives you literally one or two syllable responses about here and now. So um, when I was just checking my body as a compass.
Oof.
Yeah. So sometimes there I go into my heart.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But that is because the heart really connects us to our body. It is the connector to the body. It is, if the heart stops beating, the brain may continue for a while, but very soon the body will stop. The brain takes a while, it takes longer after the heart is gone for the brain to shut down. So we are not fully dead for a while. However, if the heart doesn't come back, we don't revive.
Okay.
Right? So it is our connector to really experience and be in our body. So your yummy yucky test, if you're not feeling it, put your hand on your heart and you will feel the yumminess or yuckiness. That will happen. So I use the heart in those where I'm looking at the body as my compass. Okay.
But then, but
Your
then the next thing, when you get that, all of that, what's the next step? The inspiration, all of that. So that's no longer the heart. That's an instinct. I would think, I would call it an instinct.
Yeah, that is coming from the gut.
Okay.
Your mind, your mind brain produces thoughts. So like my logical mind is saying, no, the system everything is stopped at
Right.
development.
That's why your gut instinct said, let this 15-year-old do this.
Yes.
And you didn't even like, you just said, okay, let him do this. And that was such a huge, what's the word I want to use? You took a chance on, well, maybe not you, but it was a big chance that, oh my God, this young person is either going to, be up for it and do it, or who knows what. But maybe you didn't even think that. You just said, yes, let's just do it. I have a student, she
I
said to
didn't
me,
actually. I didn't because my logical mind, you see, now we're getting to a point in a book where everything has to happen as per plan, right?
right.
And you have a launch decided, okay? So it is like my logical brain goes, do you know what a forward is? And I really was in my soul, great love. And he says, no, but I know how to find out. So I said, okay.
Oh,
So just
sweet.
look it up. And if you feel that you want to share some example forwards with me, then just feel free to do it. And I shared with him what the deadline is, you know, and I said that, and if you feel that overwhelmed, then I'm very happy to get on a call with you and we can work together and create it. He says, no, I really want it to be my voice after many, he said many years. It wasn't many, it was 2 years really. That
And he's only 15 years old to begin with. Not only,
it
but you
was,
know
it
what I
was,
mean.
it was a lot. I mean, like he's lost two of his friends, in the
Oh,
last 2 years. So it was huge for him.
yeah.
And after
Very young.
that time, he was like feeling like that aliveness again. So he wanted to do it. So my logical brain did go, do you know what a forward is? And I was like, didn't feel good actually. It felt a little yucky to ask that question.
You obviously did the right thing, Manu. So, okay, let's go. Let's get on to the next one. It's really exciting. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome. So the ninth element, which is a surprising one actually for me, given that we are talking about the age of brilliance and everything feels so magical and stuff, is about protection and boundaries. It's an element of protection and boundaries. So not all access is aligned access. Now, what that means is that cosmic support actually shields you from what will drain your field. So, in the age of brilliance, because the power that age of brilliance brings to us is this ability of, time collapsing and getting to across the finish line on our intentions, then it is important that our energy from our field isn't drained unnecessarily. And a lot of the time it does get drained. And I was like, I used this actually very recently in a hardcore business discussion. Okay, this particular company where they have a new chief executive, and the investors in that company are very keen for me to be a mentor of this new chief executive that has joined it. Very accomplished guy, but this is the first time he's taken on this role as a chief executive. And they wanted me to be his mentor. So I was like, okay, let's have a lay of the land meeting. So I'm there in my office and they're telling me about the lay of the land. And, this guy's talking about how he's inherited, the kind of team he's inherited, and the kind of issues the team has. And they're like, we're having this discussion going around in circle again and again and again and again. And um, and the two main investors are saying, we are with you, we are supporting you, we know this is the first time you're the CEO, but we trust you. And he says, yes, I am a first time CEO and I really want your help and guidance with this. And I was like, okay, this is not, this is draining my field. This conversation is draining my field, and it's the lay of the land, and we are not able to go beyond this, dramas around staffing issues. And I just I used this, so it was like, okay, I invoked this particular element, protection and boundaries. And I really asked for protection from misaligned energies immediately. And then immediately I got, so what happens is when you invoke this, asking for protection from misaligned energies, you immediately get clarity on what you are to say no to. And what you are to say no to is what has been depleting you. So in the context of this business meeting that is happening on Zoom, I immediately got what I am to say no to is put a stop to this label of first-time CEO, chief executive. It's like, so I said, look, this right now, we are all, you guys have all bought into this label. This guy is the first time CEO, we are to support him. And to the CEO, I said, you also taken on this label. And now in your hand, this label is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And in the matter of a week, you'll be hiding behind that label every time things don't quite go right. So I said, listen, I've been an entrepreneur. I've converted ideas into business. And both of the investors had done that before. And there are so many, so many, so many people in the world who do it. We are first-time CEOs. But we don't go around walking with this label. We are first-time CEOs. We need support. It's like we have an intention, we have a resolve, and we get on with it. And okay, there has to be some job title. So okay, fine. We will take on the chief executive job title. And we learn about it as we go along. But really, what we are working with is the overarching context of what difference we want to make. So say no to this first-time CEO label. Stop it. You do not require me at all. Because I'm not here to support you because you're a first-time CEO. I'm not interested in that. But I was like, oh my goodness, this was amazing. Amazing to do something so like heebie-jeebie, if you like, in a hardcore business discussion. But it gave me the answer. What was depleting my energies? It was to really work with this. And I got the instant cosmic support to choose this thing you say no to. The moment I said that, everything shifted. And even the guy who was the CEO, he says, oh, I just feel like I've been saved from what was going to be a doomsday scenario. You're right. I'm going to get clear about what is my vision and what am I going to accomplish in 90 days. And then that is what you coach me on. I still haven't said yes, but let's see what he comes back with. But at least that's what they are to say no to. I also got clear about what I am to say no to. And now the parameters have been set. So if I am to work with them, they will know that I will put my foot down and be very direct about certain things. Still holding the intention for what it is that we wish to accomplish. There was another very interesting thing that occurred in that meeting itself, right? So this particular business is not doing well. It's losing money quite rapidly. And so there was this conversation about we have to turn it around. We have to turn it around. We have to turn it around. So I said, yeah, we can actually create a very powerful program together that in the next 12 months or the next 20 months, this business will be turned around. For 5 years, it's been in, or 3 years at least, it's been in losses. So we could do that. And then you'll turn it around. But what it'll mean is that we are just gasping for breath every time. What would be great is for us to actually look at what happens. So what if the business turns around? So what? I'm asking you. Business is turned around. So what? And they didn't have an answer to that. So I said, because you don't have an answer to that, we will only ever be surviving. Now that clarity again came from, what do I say no to? I'm not saying yes to, I will work with you to turn the business around. I want to understand where you wish to go with it. Why do you wish to turn it around? With its losses and all, you could sell it right now. Somebody will buy it because they know how to turn it around. Why do you want to turn it around? And then they came up with what is the vision they have for this business. So I said, okay, so if we go with that vision, then turnaround will happen, right? Because it is a prerequisite. And it would happen. But the energy of this business that has been running for whatever, 11 years or so, is not going to be focused on turning around. It'll be focused on expanding and taking something pretty amazing to the world. In which case, turnaround won't be the focus, because when you focus on turning something around, you're focusing on how many things that are wrong with it that have to be addressed. Again, that came from this exercise. So I'm just sharing this because it is like it's it's very, very practical, and have working with cosmic support in this very director, like laser beam directed way, has a massive impact. It's so exciting to have this. The signs for you to know that the protection and boundaries element is active. You feel lighter, drama disappears, and you feel as if you're regenerating your energy. You know, if you skip it, then energy leaks are rampant, constantly sliding into exhaustion. And you keep finding yourself in recurring draining situations. And they show up in a variety of ways. It's not just business. They'll show up in various ways. Somebody, a friend might call you, and it starts becoming a conversation about how this is not working or that is not working or whatever it is, which starts to drain you. The amazing thing is to know, just like I did, I was in the middle of a meeting and I just said to myself, okay, cosmic support, shield me from what's draining my field. Protect me from all these misaligned energies. Show me what am I to say no to that is depleting me right now. Nobody needs to know that you're even asking all of that. And like you said, like you asked, Gail, intuitive hit versus what's coming from the heart and stuff, you'll get that intuitive hit. This is what it is. Then your heart will tell you the timing of expressing that. Then you can work with your logical brain on how you empathetically in your source express it. So it is not misunderstood. It is clearly understood. And you will instantly feel that lightness and the leak has stopped. I found it super exciting that something as practical as protection and boundaries is one of the elements of a portal of cosmic support.
Manu, you're always talking about what is mine to do. And I think for some reason this just resonated because I have two friends. One of them in particular, complained to me and going through a lot of stuff, and so he asked me to take care of his cat's food, which is really not my responsibility, but I had done it once before and it would be my pleasure. And it became the most and this is the second time. And from the very beginning, he goes, well, they'll never deliver it in the Bronx and it'd be such an issue. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, well, you know what? We didn't have that situation the last time. So hopefully we won't have that situation again, but we did. And I'm going to say at least 2-3 days, literally, I was on the phone with Amazon, and I don't usually have that many issues with them, but it was talk about cat food for his cat. And finally, everything got done, and I actually got a special credit, whatever. But I finally said to him, look, and this was not easy for me, but I thought, this was not mine to do. He has to, at the very least, have ample food for his cat. The cat depends on him. This is his responsibility. I got my little bird, and me. I'm just saying. And finally, I wrote. But I thought like exactly what you said. I put a boundary. I said, listen, and he knows that I love this. He knows I love him as a friend. And I finally said, you always need to have ample food for your cat. And this is basically the last time I'm going to do this. Because it took so much out of me for days, and I can't afford to do that. So, and not that I don't care, not that I might do it again, who knows. But as of now, this is not, my mission right now. This is not my mission, and this is his mission. And when you talked about the CEO the first CEO, that's almost like saying, I'm a baby. And I don't want to say a victim, but that's what I got. Oh, it's my first CEO, so, I need your help. You know? And I think that's what you were feeling. It's like, own it, own
Yeah.
it. So this is your first time being a CEO, but you're a CEO.
Yeah.
Get rid of the first time. We talk about words have power, and that's just what I got from you, if you don't mind my
Yeah.
interjecting.
Yeah. Good.
Anyway, we can move on, Manu.
The 10th element is my one of my favorites, which is gratitude amplification. What you thank expands. This is the key thing to remember with this particular portal. What you thank expands. And of course, you get more things to thank about. But what you thank expands. What it means is gratitude multiplies the flow of support. And if you start becoming discerning in your gratitude amplification um, approach by very specifically focusing on that which you thank, then it multiplies the flow of support towards that. It's very cool and so easy to do and so much fun, you know? And it's very simple. Many of you do this gratitude work. You do it very proactively with the intention of this cosmic support. You invoke three things you're grateful for each morning and choose what you choose in the context of these three things. So here I'm not asking you to go on a binge. I'm saying choose those three things and have them be very specifically directed. And how you activate it is activate this by actually thanking, expressing your thanks directly to at least one person, if not more than one person, each week. You can activate it by doing it each week. And it is simply awesome to do it each day. Many of you have heard me say I did this 6-year study where I studied um, um, about inspired leadership. Can inspired leaders be trained or are they born? And I interviewed about 250 or 238 different leaders. 54 of them were inspired leaders. And there was one particular daily practice that I found was common in at least 40 or so of these 54 leaders. And this daily practice was that they were going to say something, they're going to give a compliment to someone who was not expecting it. Or some people say that they were going to say thank you, but it was the similar sentiment. And it wasn't just a patronizing compliment. It was a compliment with a particular rationale that really uplifted the person. And I was so amazed, that and they all had different backgrounds. They didn't have similar upbringing. They were not from the same country. They were not from the same industry. It was gender agnostic, culture agnostic, age agnostic. And they had the same thing. And I think it is this really, this actually multiplies a flow of support. Gratitude multiplies a flow of support. And then when you actually choose what you apply that gratitude to, you work at a level of nuance that brings about time collapse. The signs that will show up, you'll have more to be grateful for. It's a wonderful mood enhancer. Vitality amplifier. If you skip this and you start just literally taking blessings or taking support or taking whatever for granted, your flow will like almost dramatically reduce. And there'll be that heaviness and a bit of burden as you take that step forward. You'll start experiencing that. So it's a beautiful element, amplification of gratitude with that twist. What you thank expands. So focusing on where you wish to take your gratitude, allow that gratitude to multiply the flow of support from the cosmos. You know, this thing, the dedication of my book, as some of you have heard me read it, how did this idea of the book Unstoppable come? It came when for a short period of time, I had rented an apartment for a year in Gurgaon, in this particular part just outside Delhi. And so that was my first time returning to stay in India for an extended period of time. And it was during the time that results and stuff come out, where in the building opposite, I lived on the 6th floor. From the 6th floor in the building opposite, a young adult jumped and committed suicide. And literally a few days later, another young adult, jumped from his apartment in the same apartment complex. And it shocked me. It shocked me. I was so shocked. And I think at that point, my rocket of desire would have gone out. That what I'm teaching these business people, these older people, I want to be able to create a version of that for young adults. It does not have to be this way. For one, it was his grades were really terrible, and he wanted to not face his parents who were both working. So before the parents came back, he did it. The other one was very, very bright. His results were brilliant, but he actually did not get into a very prestigious institute of engineering that his family had put his hopes on. And that's why he destroyed himself. It's like, oh my gosh, and that is where this book originated from. And I remember talking about this gratitude part. I felt the book is done. It's great. It's got good stories. I've had good feedback, and I've got forewords as well from parents and academicians. But I really would love it if I had a student who's experienced the loss of friends, who has used this material to turn the situation around for him and become a bit of a leader of students. Wouldn't it be great if somebody like that stepped forward? So I started then, what are the 3 things that I'm grateful for? And I haven't had that much time to do this. This is like just the last 10 days or so. And I've been looking at, when I've created this rocket of desire or something that I want, or that's going to be absolutely perfect to enhance this body of work that the divine is bringing out through me in the way that it becomes much more relatable and it makes a much bigger difference. And I started thanking times when that has happened with the Flourishing Code, with the Bee Book, with flow. And that's what I started being grateful for. And lo and behold, this particular student shows up. And I say my book is for 17 to 23-year-olds. It isn't even for 15-year-olds. So it clearly is okay for 15-year-olds. And this kid is 15. But it's so interesting how fast this works. When you work with it, knowing that it is the portal of cosmic support and you're using one of the elements, which is the key to unlock the resources and opportunities and support. So work with this. I know each of you works with gratitude anyway. Let's add that little bit of a nuance and experience what that shows up. The 11th one is embodiment of worthiness. You receive at the level you believe you deserve. You receive at the level you believe you deserve. So what it means is that your self-worth is the ceiling for your cosmic flow. And this is dignity. We are born with dignity. Dignity is the honoring of our own worthiness. You invoke it simply by affirming, I'm worthy of extraordinary support. And I personally like to, always maintain a list of what is it that's worthy about me? What is it that I admire about me? What is it that I love about me? What is it that I respect about me? Being aware of that, I am so in the presence of an abundance of worthiness. When you are in the abundance of worthiness, that's all you see all around you. You experience and notice the worthiness, and there's so many things that are worthy of admiration and respect, regardless of whatever the age or background of anyone may be around you. And you activate it by accepting help without guilt or minimizing it. And in some ways, that's what I did when I said yes to this 15-year-old writing the foreword. And lo and behold, cosmic support really came in, and it was like a bullseye. You see the signs because you receive offers of help. You experience and receive elevated opportunities that you might have dreamed about, but you didn't know that they would actually come your way. If you skip it, you experience rejection. You feel overlooked. You feel unsupported. You feel bypassed. Now, if you're experiencing any of that, it's a disconnect. You're not embodying your worthiness. That's all that is happening here. I'm going to keep going. The 12th one is aliveness. We are given the gift of life, which is that we are breathing. And our gift of life regenerates itself when it supports itself, and it also enables us to be fully alive. What it means is that when you are lit up, you magnetize support naturally. If someone is like heavy and complaining and moany and, whilst you may be empathetic, you won't necessarily go out and feel that you need to support them. It'll take some effort for you to do that. So to become that magnet that magnetizes support, you can invoke this by doing just one thing today that makes you feel wildly alive. What could that be? There's a game that I'm playing with my grandkids, by the way. It makes me feel wildly alive. It's called Marvel. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like an observation and memory game of cards, and you're supposed to like match all the images that you have on your card. And they are so good at it. We are like competing neck to neck. It's like, okay, I can have a Marvel time segment. It only takes 10 minutes, but it does make me feel wildly alive because they're like so excited about this whole thing that they're winning with Grandma Minu. You activate this by sharing the energy with others, Your joy is a broadcast. That's really what happens with kids. Their joy is a broadcast. That's why it makes us feel in the way it does. People who we say life of a party, their joy is a broadcast. But you can do that, and I can do that. The signs you experience are you have more invitations, you have new possibilities. It's like you're an effortless attractor. And if you are operating from intention, then that cosmic support, all of this goes in service of that intention. My intention is to create a flourishing world where expecting and accepting miracles are the norm. So I'm really loving this approach, because I know where all of this is going to go. If you skip it, you feel dull, you feel disconnected, and it's just hard work to get into momentum. So the main thing to remember is, as I bring it all to a close, that you're not here to push a boulder up the hill. You're just not. You literally are here to be carried by the rivers of grace, already flowing for you. Cosmic support is not rare. It is not random. It is our birthright. So when you invoke and activate these 12 elements, you step into a field where the extraordinary becomes your everyday. So from this day forward, you can literally walk forward knowing that the unseen is working for you. You have a whole ecosystem of support. You are deeply resourced. The wind is always at your back. You don't have to know who's giving you that. It's just there. It's really a calling for us to rise, not as solitary climbers. That's why my point about co-creation and collaboration is so, I keep going on about it. It is for this time. So let's not rise as solitary climbers, but as those who know that they are already held. It is the time we flourish together. And we are embraced by the cosmos. Over to you, Gail, to conclude our session.
Self. Unmute. Okay, so my question, because you've said it and it's so powerful, and I'm like, oh God. You keep saying if you skip this, so every single step that you've mentioned tonight has to be done in that order?
Not in that order.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I do the gratitude thing. I've done the universe thing, which is so powerful. I know
Yeah.
that for sure. Okay, so it doesn't have to be. So all of these steps are beautiful. All of this, manifests, I believe, the cosmic support, like you've talked about. But I didn't know, because if you said, well, if you skip this step, and I'm like, oh, what if I skip it? So explain this, please.
Just do it at some point. It doesn't have to be done in order.
Okay. So Kathleen Holiday said, brilliant, moving, full of energy today, and filled with lovely examples of guardians, angels, ancestors who guide us on the way forward, all said with great gratitude. So thank you, Kathleen. I completely agree. And I hope that everyone has had a wonderful, inspirational time tonight. Manu, you're just the best. And thank you so much. This was incredible.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Gail, for hosting.
It was my pleasure. It was my honor.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
Have a wonderful weekend and play with it.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know why. Good night, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are. Good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.